What's going on, Patriots fans? Welcome into Patriots Today by Chat Sports. I've got some unfortunate news to break down here on the first half of the show, and that involves Christian Barmore. He has been diagnosed with blood clots in his leg, and he's out indefinitely. The good news is that he was hospitalized, but he's no longer in the hospital. I'll give you guys an update from Jerod Mayo himself from earlier today before Day 5 of NFL training camp started. But overall, this is scary. It's scary to have Christian Barmore dealing with blood clots at 25 years old. It's scary for the Patriots defense and what they're going to do without him because we do not know how long he's going to be out. But obviously, Christian Barmore's health is the top priority. Here's what the New England Patriots had to say. They released a statement earlier saying over the weekend, Christian Barmore was diagnosed with blood clots. He was appropriately treated by the doctors at Mass General Brigham, who tested, evaluated, and treated Christian. While there is no current timetable for his return, we know Christian is getting tremendous care, and we look forward to his full recovery. So he turned 25 years old yesterday. I'm 25 years old. Having blood clots is a very serious matter for somebody that is as healthy as Christian Barmore is and as young as Christian Barmore is. So what really happened to lead up to these blood clots was my first thought, because obviously he's being monitored 24/7 by physical trainers, by coaches, by medical staff, because he's a professional athlete. So how did he stem from blood clots? Well, Ian Rappaport did give a report here on maybe how this came to fruition, saying stemming from over the weekend, essentially Christian Barmore had a bruise on the back of his calf. Kind of thought it was nothing. I mean, obviously, he's a defensive lineman. He's going to have bruises all over his body. But Jim Whalen, a very respected athletic trainer for the New England Patriots, insisted that he get it checked out. Well, now Barmore, Jerod Mayo, even Barmore's agent have thanked Whalen and the medical staff immensely for catching this, for treating him. And obviously, like I said, Barmore's health is the top priority. Football can wait when it's something like this that is that serious, and this is not just an easily treatable type of diagnosis. He'll now have to go on blood thinners. He'll now have to be monitored 24 hours a day to see if those blood clots have shrunk, if they have moved, and that is why there is no timetable for his return right now. But Jerod Mayo is giving updates to the media day in and day out, and the best update that we have received is that Mayo said Barmore is in good spirits and is not in the hospital. There have been other reports that his mother is now on site with him, which I know whenever I'm sick, the first person I want is my mother. So to have Christian Barmore in good spirits, they are respecting him, they're respecting the timeline, they want him to come back, obviously, as soon as possible, but they know that he has got to get this figured out before he can step foot on that football field, because this is a serious injury. But the New England Patriots fan base has his back. We, of course, want him back on the field, being the defensive menace that he is. But I want you guys to give Christian Barmore some love and well wishes in the comment section. Spam 90 in the comments. Because while he may be in and out of the hospital, while he may be going through treatments, I hope he's on YouTube. I hope he comes across Patriots Today by Chat Sports and just sees the love in the comment section down below. Go on ahead and spam 90 as many times as you possibly can to give Barmore the love that he deserves. I'm going to take a quick break here before we hop into the back half and the new signing for the Patriots, because I want to tell you guys the best way to get tickets out there, and that is Game Time. And I'm talking tickets for concerts. I'm talking tickets for events, even football games that are surely coming up very, very quickly here. But with Game Time, you are going to get the best price guaranteed, the lowest price guaranteed. You're going to have the best view from the seats. That is what I love about Game Time. They can actually give you a 3D perspective of what you will be seeing from your seats wherever you decide to purchase them. And what I like is that they actually give you last-minute flash deals and zone deals. So if you're not exactly sure where to go, what the best seat is, they'll have different colors for prices listed on their app. So it shows you, hey, look, this is a zone deal right now. It's $10 off. Grab this deal, best seats in the house. And like I said, you're going to be getting great views from where you decide to pick your seats. So I know that New England Patriots football is not quite here yet. Boston Celtics basketball is during the offseason. So I'm looking at Boston Red Sox games. They've got plenty of great opponents coming up throughout the month of August, which is coming up very soon. And the Boston Red Sox still need to make their standings in the MLB. So if you guys want to go check out a Boston Red Sox game. I highly suggest using Game Time. I have gone to many games at Fenway Park. I think it's the most beautiful ballpark in the entire MLB franchise, and right now they have the Astros coming to Fenway, not next week, but the week after. They've got the World Series champions from a few years ago, whenever they decided to cheated. So I always love going to Astros games just to yell at them, just to cuss them out, because that's how I feel about them cheating. But nonetheless, however you guys feel, that's up to you. And I want you guys to use Game Time, get you the best seats for the Astros coming to Fenway, not next week, but the week after. All you guys have to do is download the app, create an account, use promo code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, for $20 off your first purchase while terms do apply. One more time, use that promo code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase while terms do apply. All right, back into what Jerod Mayo was saying about Christian Barmore here. He is anticipating a return for Christian Barmore. We just don't know the timeline yet because blood clots can be very finicky. They can dissolve, they can move, they can shrink, they can grow. So, with that being said, he is anticipating a return eventually for Christian Barmore. But the unfortunate side of our job and the entire team is that, well, practice must go on. The game must go on. So while he is getting the rest and the time that he needs to recover, who steps up at defensive tackle with Christian Barmore out for this possibly extended period of time? Well, that's what somebody asked earlier today ahead of day 5 of training camp, and Jerod Mayo had a very simple answer saying, well, we'll see. That's it. We'll see. Good question. We'll see. There are several players that could possibly step up here with Christian Barmore in absence. You got Farms, you got Equale. So it's going to be very intriguing to see who gets those first reps, but who does what with the reps while Christian Barmore is out. Because you have big shoes to fill. Jerod Mayo said earlier today, he is one of the best defensive players that we have. 64 total tackles last year, 8.5 sacks. That was huge when Matthew Judon was injured last season. 6 passes deflected, 1 forced fumble. The guy is a headhunter. So when you look at the defensive line depth chart here, of course, you got Devon Godchaux right there in the middle, who actually is not in full pads today on the first day of full pads. So now you got drama with Devon Godchaux, whose agent is actually on the field, so maybe something could happen. But then you got Keon White right there at your defensive end. He's still locked and loaded. He's still going to have a phenomenal second year. But when you look at Christian Barmore, he has a huge role at defensive tackle. This is where I do think that Farms and Equale are probably the top 2 contenders to move up there and switch over to defensive tackle. Not so much Roberts. You may have Watts step in there as well, being the second string right now for Christian Barmore. But I would really probably put money on Equale or Farms moving over from that nose tackle position to defensive tackle. But you also got to think, with Devon Godchaux not participating, he is in attendance at training camp, but not participating. Now you may have to fill 2 spots on the defensive line. So let me know what you guys think. Who steps up without Barmore? Who do you think is going to be the next man up at defensive tackle? I would like to see Equale move over to that right side, while I would have Farms move up and take the nose tackle spot while Devon Godchaux figures his stuff out. But we're going to have to wait and see with full pads the first day here at NFL training camp. But there was some breaking news that Doug did report out earlier saying the Patriots signed defensive tackle Josiah Bronson. Per source, former University of Washington defender was most recently with the Miami Dolphins and the Memphis Showboats of the UFL. He is wearing number 75 today. So it looks like the Patriots already signed a defensive tackle. Obviously not the same caliber of Christian Barmore, but it does add a little bit more to the depth chart if they need to go down that road. So let's figure out who Bronson is and what he does bring to the field here. The 27-year-old has played 1 regular season game with the Miami Dolphins last NFL regular season. But more recently this spring, he played with the Memphis Showboats of the UFL. That's where he most recently came from. But he spent a lot of time in the NFL since being drafted in 2021 when he was on a practice squad mainly of Dallas Cowboys, New Orleans Saints, and the Cleveland Browns. He was also the practice squad of the Miami Dolphins before being elevated for just 1 regular season game. So no, this is not a big flashy signing. This is definitely a depth chart add just to make sure that they're not wearing any guys out. And they've got options. Now he'll compete for a 53-man roster spot, and we wish him the best. I'll keep an update on how he's doing, how many reps he's getting, but I do think they do still have a pretty good depth chart in terms of defensive linemen when it comes to filling in that role of defensive tackle. But it's going to be an adjustment without Christian Barmore. You saw his stats. He takes up a big role of that 3-4 front. And here's what Gerard Mayo had to say about somebody possibly stepping up on that interior defensive line. He said, look, we'll see. Today is the first day in pads. It's easy to say this guy can do it, that guy can do it. But a guy like Barmore, as disruptive as he is, it's kind of hard to get that same production. If anything, I think this is the time for the offense to step up without having Christian Barmore down your throats. And same thing with Davon Godchaux. This is now an offensive rest period because you're not having Christian Barmore breathing down your neck. But obviously, coming back to this serious note here, his health is the top priority. There is some positives in having a player out like Barmore. You get to see a lot of other defensive linemen step up, take more reps, and see where they could possibly move because injuries are going to happen in the regular season. So now you're starting to get that experience. Obviously, you do not want it to be something as serious as blood clots, but you're taking the cards that you are dealt, you are focusing on his health, and you're moving forward in practice to see who the next man that steps up. But today is the first day of full pads, which means football is finally here. Who are you most excited to watch in full pads during day 5 of training camp and moving forward? My player is going to be Keon White. I think this second-year player is going to be absolutely dominant. He's probably going to be the bright spot with Davon Godchaux and Christian Barmore not playing today in training camp unless Davon Godchaux decides to put on his pads today. Looks like we're not going to see him. So I'm looking at Keon White, but drop your comments down below. And as always, go on ahead and hit that sub button for me. Anything and everything New England Patriots, we have it right here for you for free. So all you guys have to do is subscribe.